I must confess I was surprised by the stock reaction yesterday. I mean, everybody knew this was going to happen, so why the surprise? And that was a bit confusing. But having said that, Apple generates so much free cash flow. It is truly the behemoth when it comes to their operating system, and people are taking shots at it. And this is not going to end, and it's a big overhang for the stock over the next several years. This is not going to go through in the next 6 months or 12 months. This is a multi-year problem now.
I guess, Mandeep, could you talk a little bit about another issue that Apple's been facing? It's had a string of pretty bad news about where it is on AI. We have these headlines that just have crossed that Apple's in talks to use Baidu's AI in its Chinese iPhones. We had the scoop earlier about the potential tie-up with Google for AI. I mean, it doesn't look like it's really anywhere in the thing that is most hot among investors.
I wouldn't characterize it that way. I think in the end, Gen AI is still so early that, when we think about who is the real beneficiary, obviously it's NVIDIA. And when it comes to on-device Gen AI, which is where Apple plays in, nobody is a standout. Yes, Google has a model, and obviously Apple is talking about leveraging Google Gemini. But maybe it's a sound strategy to have a Chinese vendor provide the LLM for the Chinese phones, because when it comes to LLM chatbot functionality, it's all about the local language, the local knowledge that the LLM embeds, and it may actually turn out to be a good strategy to use local LLMs wherever Apple has an install base.
LLM definition, large language model, which I know that because I read the research coming from Mandeep and Anurag. Anurag, another Apple issue here, and then maybe we can broaden it out a little bit, but again, I think I probably speak for most Apple investors, is I'm still trying to get my head around China. What is the risk there for me, China, both from a demand for my products in China and maybe to a lesser extent the supply chain, but that supply chain issue is still on the table. Where are you? Where's the street on kind of sussing out the China risk for Apple?
So when you look at Apple, let's say over a 10-year history, it really made inroads in the U.S. and the Western world, controlling market share. But the next big market is China, and they were doing well. The Xiaomi phone came out last year. It really underscored that there was refresh cycle for that particular phone that hasn't happened in years. Consumer weakness in China, and Apple's just losing market share at this point in terms of every quarter when they come out, and it's been a very tough market. I don't see that changing, at least this year. They really need a catalyst to really go out and say that we can really work in China. Maybe the LLM, maybe the partnership with Baidu is one of them. But having said that, I don't see any chances that they're going to have a big rebound in China, at least this year.